to give us what we need. Hey!
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power!
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss it. There's something wrong with that.
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Whenever you're engaging in a conversation with others, it's easy to subconsciously make particular comments that you wouldn't normally authorize. After the conversation has come to an end, you might think to yourself, why did I say that? Or why did I volunteer that information? They didn't need to know that. Indeed, even the best of us, who can remain more or less tight-lipped about matters, are prone to inadvertently volunteering information. No matter who we converse with, significant others, friends, acquaintances, or strangers, it's important to realize that we shouldn't tell them absolutely everything, nor are we required to do so. Honesty may be the best policy, but another old adage also remarks that loose lips sink ships. Thus, although we should aspire to be honest in our dealings with others, too much honesty can be detrimental to the point where it facilitates our downfall. Today's discussion advances the principal assertion that you should not be an open book, especially with people whom you are less familiar with, such as strangers, acquaintances, and some friends. However, this principle can also be applicable for good friends, family members, and significant others. I will defend my assertion by offering two compelling reasons, or premises, that have been discovered primarily through personal experience along with my observations of others. To begin, before I outline the two reasons, or supporting premises, I should clarify how I interpret being an open book. Simply put, I interpret this concept as essentially disclosing too much information about yourself or others unnecessarily. Furthermore, this action often has a strong tendency to be performed for no other reason than to prolong a conversation, i.e., preventing an awkward silence, or with the intent.
That does sound like Shaq. But what's interesting about what was presented here is, and I'm going to say it, for this type of society, the world we live in today, what they just said was, get used to being with half your person. Nobody's going to tell you the whole truth. Nobody's going to tell you the whole truth about anything. Right? But yet they're going to be in church professing to be righteous, professing to be Holy Ghost filled. I'm just pointing this out. Yes, there are pros and cons to being an open book in a relationship, especially in a society like this one. We talked about David R. Hawkins, his consciousness grid, and what it's predicated on. Everybody's vibrating at the level of fear. That means everybody has something to hide. Or even more said better, everybody has something to withhold. I'm guilty. Being an open book has its advantages and disadvantages. On the one hand, transparency can create a solid foundation of trust as it encourages mutual understanding. and emotional safety. On the other hand, oversharing can lead to emotional burnout and vulnerability hangovers, where a partner feels overwhelmed by the other's disclosures. I need y'all to understand that that's not normal. See, people try to make what I would see as a mental issue. That, to me, that's a problem. What? Burnout hangovers? Who created that term? Emotional burnout? Who created that term? And you'll have people come in and be like, yeah, those are real terms. Yes, when you have self-unrealized people, emotional burnout is real. When you have people who refuse to conquer the demons on the inside, sure, they can get burnt out emotionally. Vulnerability hangovers, right? So what happens is you get these intellects, right? Intelligentsia. They come in and they create these fancy terms to really just make excuses for people to be dual-sided. When are we going to have a real relationship with two open people that are not afraid of the truth of who they are and not afraid to share it? Right? It's tough. What's the impact of withholding? How does withholding information about past relationships impact current relationships? Concealing aspects of our relationship history can be a form of self-protection, as it shields us from potential judgment and rejection. Stop there. People don't have a problem sharing their past relationship. They just have a problem sharing their contribution, right, to the downfall of the relationship. People share their past relationships all day long. They drag their exes all day long. They post on Instagram or X or Facebook or whatever. They'll post, this person was that, and I was in a relationship, and boom, bap, boom, and they did this, and they did that. They never say, I'm responsible for these 5 things. My partner may be responsible for 10 things, and here's the list of the 10 things that I believe they're responsible for. But you know what? Before I speak on what my partner was responsible for, here are the top 5 things I was See, the withholding piece is really not the problem. It's withholding your complicity. You're an accomplice to the failed relationship. Let's just, right? So if we're having a real conversation with somebody, right? And we sit down and they say, tell me about your last relationship and your contribution to, how it unraveled. They start off, well, she was tripping because what had happened was when she first told me, or he was tripping because he lied and then didn't tell me. And then it always starts with the victim positionality. No one says, but this is what I did. And this is how I maintained myself in that situation, how I kept it pushing. Nobody really does that. Can concealing relationship history be a remedy for conflict aversion? While withholding many, temporary while withholding may temporarily prevent conflicts, it can lead to long-term relational issues. Now, let me just say, temporarily, what's temporarily? We have to define how long you've been withholding, right? So many people, listen, I know folks that'll go to the grave with what they did. They'll go to the grave. they'll act as if nothing has ever happened on their end. Sounds like what narcissists do. Narcissists are the masters of controlling the narrative. Am I off? Narcissists know how to control the narrative. And not only do they control the narrative, they become like social media with it. They want to put the narrative out to affect as many people as they possibly can. Why? Because they want people to stand with them as a victim. This is the flying monkeys aspect of narcissism. If you're dealing with a real person, they're accountable for their contribution, right, to a failed relationship. Every aspect of it. They can talk about how their unhealed wounds contributed, and they don't mind telling the truth. Like, I am the antagonist in this moment. Everybody wants to be the protagonist, right? No, tell us about you being the antagonist. Man, I remember I was sitting with a friend of mine once, and he was on the phone with a woman he was having problems with, and they had a child together, and she was just ripping him a new one, going off, cussing at him. He was sitting on the couch. The woman came in, and he was on the phone, and she was on the phone. And she was on the phone with a guy. And I guess she's asking this other guy to come over with his kid to babysit their kid, because my homeboy was getting ready to leave. And I guess the dude that she was on the phone with says to her, well, where's his father? She says, oh, that B-A or that B-N or B-A-N, if you can put the words together. Oh, that B-A-N is sitting on the couch right now. What? And I had to tell my homeboy, I said, listen, if she can talk to you like that, right? Imagine what she gonna say to him when it go bad with him. Do you understand? Listen, there are a lot of toxic people out there, but I guarantee you, if she gets in another relationship, she won't mention none of that. She won't tell any of that. That part of the story will never be revealed. It'll be, I had a deadbeat dad that didn't help me raise my son. But we'll never tell that aspect of the story. Heavy stuff. We live in a weird little world. Let me get some callers in here. Attila from Houston, Texas. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Listen. Oh my gosh. So I don't even know where to start. I mean, the twists and turns that we went through putting this thing together today, man, let me tell you, my relationship rap sheet is long. Okay?
It's long.
A long list of offenses, eh? But no, you're hitting the nail on the head. But there's a few things that I want to touch on, and there's a particular comment that Mai left. And she says, emotional burnout can be caused by carrying other people's emotions and responsibilities upon our own shoulders without letting them carry it themselves. Parents can feel this burnout at some point. And I think that was in reference to something that someone said. But I think it's an interesting point to bring up with the emotional burnout, because I think when it comes to openness, we tend to kind of confuse that with agreeableness. And they're not exactly the same thing, right? So when you asked, are you an open book, right? I think that a lot of us can be open, but maybe we're layered. That's how I would describe myself. I mean, you know me. I don't know what you would say to that, but I think that you can be open, but maybe not everyone can comprehend the words on the pages. And perhaps that's for a good reason.
I like that. I like
right?
it. I like it. Give me more. Come on.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the last. I don't want to stay too long on it because I like when people contribute to my topics. Man, it makes me feel good. But I will say, the last thing, people do continue to ridicule bravery when it comes to honesty, and I think we do that because sometimes we lack that fortitude to be disagreeable. Because once you're honest, that opens room for rebuke. And if you're someone who, is very, very conscious or aware of what people think of you, and that is something that bothers you quite a bit, people who don't necessarily have that fear will most likely be off-putting to you. So I think when it comes to relationships and the ways that we relate to one another, the things that scare us really should be the things that we admire and maybe seek to be a little bit more. So that's it.
I love that. I love that. Guess what you just did?
I brought Houston in the building.
Houston, Texas is in the building. Hey, when we come forward, we going back to L.A.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580. Tavis is like George and Wheezy. He's moving on up. Last year, Tavis was number 45 on the Talkers Magazine list of the 100 most important radio talk show hosts in America. Wait for it. Wait for it. The 2024 list was recently released, and Tavis has jumped to number 33 on the list of the nation's most important talkers, making him the highest-ranked African-American on the coveted roster. Congratulations to Tavis Smiley from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580. We've got you black. If you say you care about the community, you have to also care about the climate. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got you black.
Hey, LA, it's time to step up and be a climate change hero. Go Metro and help us shape a better future for all Angelinos. From enhancing our diverse communities to preserving our planet, Metro is dedicated to making a positive impact with every ride. Start your journey at metro.net.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that we keep us safe. Pro Football Hall of Famer and urban peace pioneer Jim Brown believed in just that. So he founded the Amera I Can Foundation for Social Change in 1988, focusing on at-risk and high-risk youth in underserved schools and juvenile detention facilities, as well as adult incarceration and reentry initiatives. The core of the Amera I Can program is its 15-chapter life skills curriculum. Mastery of these skills allows individuals to meet their academic potential, conform their behavior to acceptable societal standards, and improve the quality of their lives by equipping them with what they need to confidently and successfully contribute to society. Today, the foundation is led by its president, Monique Brown, who has been actively involved in the organization for more than 25 years. The Amera I Can Foundation continues its work in memory of its founder, actor, philanthropist, and NFL legend Jim Brown. To get involved or make a donation, please visit AmeriICanCommunity.partners. That's AmeriICanCommunity.partners. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I go to work like a doctor. When I rock the mic, you got to like the way I operate. I make miracles happen just for rapping. I'm so lyrically potent, and I'm floating and exploding on the scene. Mean, I got the potential to make it go then chill. I got the credentials that is the essential to make a rhyme essential. Then you know I will fulfill, make a couple of mil as I build a guild for all the rappers to skill and kill the weak rappers and no frill. Hang him in effigy, if he's a sucker, hang him to the left of me, cause my right hand man is my mic stand and the microphone that I own, and my game plan is keep it at a steady pace. Ain't no reason to rush, it ain't no race, I'ma hit the top just when I wanna, and it's a matter of time, and I'm gonna, cause I know when to. Go ahead, enter the classic Modi rap that sent you running around, holding your head, asking your homeboy, yo man, you heard what he said? Another funky rhythm, look at your man and give him a high five, cause I'm live, run around with him, telling everybody hanging out on the block, it's time to wake up and check the clock. Punch it. I go to work.
Early in this session, Otts talked about like family upbringing. Makai also talked about that. And in my household, I was always the peacekeeper. I had to peacekeep to earn love. I had to really like be a good kid, and I didn't really have a voice when I was growing up. So these patterns continue to show up in my adult relationships, and peacekeeping can show up as not rocking the boat. It can show up as fixating on my partner's needs over mine, and it can be doing everything possible to prevent hard feelings from coming up in the relationship. Just so happens that we're going to be talking about anger and resentment today, but that can be a whole like umbrella of other feelings. So knowing that about my childhood, I'm going to first set some more context around my previous relationship with my ex. So with my ex, when we were in relationship with each other, a lot of these patterns showed up. There were times where I would call it an Uber, and she would get pissed that it was taking too long, and I would just take it. You know, I would just take in her annoyance, I would absorb it, and I didn't say anything to rock the boat, and that created resentment down the line. There were other times when I was taking pictures for her, and she was upset and getting upset because they weren't good to her standards, and then she got moody for the rest of the trip. And this happened across multiple trips.
But see, this goes back to my point. I'm listening to, and even onto the brother, I know what emotional fatigue is. But you're not healed if you're trying to carry somebody else's wounds or their emotional contribution. You can't be emotional for them. That's a sign of an unhealed person. Just like the people pleasing, and you get these attachment wounds. What I'm saying is, all of this stuff is born out of trauma. All of these new labels. Emotional fatigue. Oh, you're not healed. When I listen, because somebody at some point, psychology is going to catch up to spirituality, and they're going to come into alignment. Watch what happens. How do you get to the point of, with the strength of a mustard seed, you can move mountains? See, wounds are there as a type of spiritual, psychological trainer to get you to up level by going through the fire. And I'm not saying that, this doesn't happen. What I'm saying is, when you see people trying to carry the emotional wounds and burdens of another person, that is a sign of somebody that's off. It's not their job to do that. Spiritually, we're not designed to carry somebody else's emotional load. We can walk with them. Do you remember that old saying? You can lead a horse to water, but you can't drink for him. You can lead a person to the doorway of themselves, but they got the key, they got the lock. They have to unlock it and go in and do the work themselves. So anybody that's doing that work, they must have been doing that work for a parent that wasn't available for them in some capacity. Do you understand? We have when it comes to spirituality, don't get it twisted. We got supernatural powers. I know people don't want to hear it put that way, but I don't care. Right? So in psychology, they hit you this way. In psychology. Okay, let's do ocean. Ocean's an acronym. Openness, conscientious, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. See, psychology started off spiritually. It comes out of philosophy, right? Philosophy is a Greek word, the love of wisdom, right? And they realized, you know what the biggest problem with psychology is? I actually can't know what's inside somebody's head. So they misnamed it because psychology actually means the study of the soul. Well, the soul is not tangible in Western scientific framing. So they had to change it. Okay, this is more about how you behave. And this is how it shows up in our relationships because we are conditioned by the Western mind. It don't matter what you say. It's what you do. Well, the psychologist is looking at what you do too. Do you see? That's what I'm saying. None of you guys are really humans in terms of the capacity of what a human can be. So what happens is we create all these fancy little terms. Oh, I'm psychologically fatigued. That's because your wounds are stronger than your spirit is now. And so whatever retreat tactic you've been conditioned to use, you use it, you've been conditioned from childhood to use, you use it in your adult relationships. Do you see? So in psychology, quite simple. Openness, conscientious, extroversion, agreeableness, neuroticism. And then there's a high score and a low score. Right? And depending on whatever your score is in these 5 areas, that's going to let us know how transparent you're going to be intrapersonally as well as interpersonally. Oh, my goodness. Well, listen. One of my favorite callers is on the line. I'm going to get to her on the other side because it's been a long time since she's been on. Oh, I can't wait to talk to her. When we come forward, we going back to Los Angeles. Let's get it.
Right now, word after word, with these letters, it becomes visibly better. Cause my foundation built a nation of rappers, and after I came off vacation, I came to roam the land to own, stand alone on the microphone. Daddy's home, so open the door. Playtime is over. Time to go to work to show the suckers in the place who run their face. A taste of the bass and who's the ace. Start the race. I'm coming in first. With these verses, I build a curse. So rappers can't capture Modi's rapture. And after I have to slap you senseless with endless rhymes. Don't pretend this is anything short of stupendous. And when this rhyme is done, your mind will become so trapped in the rap you lust another one.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton. Here's the latest on the Black Information Network. Donald Trump says he'd rather be running against Vice President Kamala Harris than President Biden. At a press event from his Mar-a-Lago home in Florida, Trump criticized Harris's record on crime and other issues.
Kamala's record is horrible. She's a radical left person at a level that nobody's seen.
This was his first public appearance since Harris became the nominee and selected Minnesota Governor Tim Walz as her running mate. New Jersey flags will fly at half-staff starting on Friday in honor of Justice James H. Coleman Jr., who passed away last week at 91. Acting Governor Way calls Coleman a lifelong trailblazer and says his life embodies the intertwined history of inequality and progress in our country. Coleman was born the son of a sharecropper in racially segregated Virginia and broke down racial barriers when he became the first black justice to serve on the state Supreme Court in 1994. That's the latest. I'm Amber Payton on your home for 24/7 News, the Black Information Network.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
Yeah, yo, come on. Pick up the drum.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we fight the power every day.
Yeah, gotta give us what we want. Gotta give us what we need. Hey!
I listen to KBLA and I love the commercials. I know what the commercials mean. I also, if I'm looking and trying to figure something out, I need something to talk to me that might hit me. And it happens on TV because, you know, every time they show a sporting event, they got the pharmaceutical companies back to back to back telling people how to fix the sickness on the same stuff that they sell them. So we get it.
Yep, we get it too, Chuck D. And that's why at KBLA Talk 1580, we don't black down.
Drop it! Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be. Fight the power! Fight the power!
To help combat climate change, LADWP is helping neighborhoods have better access to electric vehicles by awarding nearly $130 million in EV rebates to customers just like you. From big savings on used EVs to building new charging plazas, LADWP is charging ahead to help all Angelinos experience the benefits of EVs. Get rebates of up to $4,000 for a used EV and $1,750 for a charger. Learn more at ladwp.com/EV. That's ladwp.com/EV.
Looks like Bobby needs a ride again.
Grab the keys. Let's take our auntie to the swap meet. Grab the keys.
Whether you're giving rides or hauling gear, do it all in a Chevy SUV. Head to your local Chevy dealer, where well-qualified buyers get 1.9% financing on all 2024 Malibu, Colorado, Blazer, Equinox, Trailblazer, and Traverse limited models. Chevrolet, together, let's drive.
1.9% APR for 36 months. Monthly payment is $2,860 for every $1,000 you finance. Example down payment 15.8% must finance with GM Financial. Some customers may not qualify. Not available with lease and some other offers. Take new retail delivery by 7/1/24.
Hey, LA residents, it's planting season and the perfect time to get shade trees growing around your home. LADWP and City Plants are giving every resident up to 7 free trees. That's right, 7 free trees delivered right to your door. Trees are great for the environment, help improve air quality, and can help you save on your bill when you use less air conditioning to stay cool indoors. Learn more at ladwp.com/free trees. That's ladwp.com/free trees.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA reminds you that when we fight, we win, and we don't black down. LA Community Action Network, or LA CAN, was formed in 1999 when 25 residents of downtown LA came together and acknowledged the problems that existed in their community and made a commitment to do something about those problems, to stand together, organize, and become a force in the community that demands change. Civil rights and preventing the criminalization of poverty are their core projects. In addition, they take on women's rights, the human right to housing, and healthy food access. LA CAN also has projects focused on economic development, civic participation, voter engagement, and community media. While downtown LA remains their home base, with a particular emphasis on the Skid Row community, in 2007, they expanded their housing and healthy food access work into South Central Los Angeles. LA CAN believes that power for low-income people and people of color is achieved through a large, active, and well-informed member base that utilizes a multitude of methods to advance their messages and goals. If you'd like to join the Los Angeles Community Action Network and organize people to fight back against oppression, please visit cangress.org. That's cangress.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
And now Martha Stewart for Skechers. When I make a dish or embark on a craft project, I always use the finest, most fabulous ingredients and materials. Which is why, when it comes to footwear, I love Skechers. Because Skechers is the comfort technology company and uses the most luxurious, innovative materials and designs to make wondrously comfortable footwear with all the fits and features like Arch Fit and Skechers' world-famous air-cooled memory foam. It's exactly the way I'd make shoes.
Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
KBLA Talk 1580 invites you to join us for a book party celebrating The Covenant with Black America 20 years later. Almost 2 decades ago, the Covenant book, compiled and edited by Tavis Smiley, climbed to #1 on the New York Times bestsellers list and stayed there for weeks. The first book by a black-owned publisher to achieve such a feat. The urgency of the issues that matter most to black fellow citizens has only intensified, especially in this critical election year. On Wednesday evening, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m., come meet Tavis Smiley alongside Covenant contributors including Cornel West, Connie Rice, Mark Ridley Thomas, Elisa Orduna, Tyrone Howard, and Melina Abdullah as they sign copies of The Covenant with Black America 20 years later. You can purchase your books on site and get them autographed. That's Wednesday evening, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. in the city of Los Angeles. Admission is free, but you must register at KBLA1580.com. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
So, tell me, how do you feel about Jack the Ripper?
Get him. Want me to get him? Well, I got him. My mouth is an Uzi, and I shot him with hundreds of rhymes of rhythm designed to make him rewind. This time I draw the line. He's mine. Just chill. Don't nobody touch him, cause I'ma get ill. The boy's phony as a $3 bill, and this time I shoot to kill. Just like a sucker, you took the bait. Now you're like a dead fish on my dish, too late. So party people, kick your feet up. I'm about to heat up. You're hungry for a battle? Now it's time to eat up. Boy, I'm gonna chew you, cause I knew you was talking that junk punk. Now I'ma do you the way you should be done. Call you my son, make it say, Daddy, I don't want none. I had enough of you acting tough. You huff, puff, grab your stuff, you cool puff bluff. Talk about a battle, but you don't wanna do it. You got yourself into it, you bitch, you egomaniac. I'm a brainiac. You came back with the stone cold plain attack. Your rhymes are weak whack. How can you speak that? You need to sneak back to the drawing board, Jack the Ripper. Down with my zipper. You get paid to be a Moby tipster. Trying to knock the way I rock it off my jock. I'ma knock you out the box. Let's go. Go, 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 go. Let's go. What up or shut up? Get up, yeah, what up? Huh, get on the microphone and get cut up. Talk about how your records went double platinum. With those lyrics, I laugh at them. So you got paid. Take the money you made, bet it on yourself. Are you afraid? Money talks, BS walks. When I stalk like a hawk, a victory is chalk. So put your money where your mouth is. You don't know about this. Battling for real men. And I doubt if you can even hang or give a run for the money. You're just a sucker. And it's funny how you never ever had a drop of juice in New York. And now you go on tour and try to talk that talk. Try to act like you're a big man.
I'm coming to you a little bit more raw than usual. I still have my headset in because I just finished a one-to-one session with a client. And I wanted to talk about something immediately because it's at the very tip of my brain and wanted to address it while it's there and feeling the most relevant. Now, why it's feeling the most relevant is because this is something that I've been contemplating in my own life a lot lately, and it's come up a few times in one-to-one sessions with clients and even with members of my membership community, the Shift Society. And this one thing is leading to a lot more resentment, hurt feelings, and anger than it needs to. And so today I want to talk to you about this, about one big reason why we often struggle with resentment or anger or hurt feelings or getting frustrated easily with other people, and how we can switch this one in order to just have more peace, be happier, have better relationships, all things that I'm sure we all want. So stay tuned. Going to talk to this one today about this one today.
Man, tonight's topic is really good. It's rich. It's rich. Most of us are a partially open book. Oh my goodness, I have so much to say on this, but we have a caller on the line, and I want to get her in. It's been a long time since we've had her. We got Jim on from Los Angeles, California. LA done showed up tonight. Jim, what are your thoughts on tonight's
Zoda.
topic?
Hey, Zoda. Nice to talk to you. I know I've been gone for a while, and this is just such a perfect conversation because it's Lionsgate, it's 8/8, it's energy transforming and supercharged, and so thank you.
Yes.
And so with that being said, I there's a lot of things. He kept talking, and I was like, God damn, I said, I got to get me a notepad because you're on point. You're always on point. But I'm just going to do a little, like, bullet points.
Okay.
So for me, in a relationship, I am so grateful that I am able to look at myself. I have no desire to talk about the partner because that partner I was with, that says a lot about me. So why slander somebody that I love that I was with, that I chose to be with, and then slander. That's one. Then I started thinking about the free will. What was my payout when I saw the red flags that I chose not to acknowledge? Because before I leave, there are red flags. What is my benefit of staying here and allowing something that I don't want to be or doesn't feel quite right? What am I getting from this? That's two. And if there's a reflection, that's usually how it goes. I have no desire to talk about you because I don't want this to be repeated. I need this lesson learned. And it has nothing to do with you, but it has everything to do with me. This might be this personal relationship, but I can guarantee you that I'm doing the same thing in other relationships. My son, my family, my mom, my dad, whatever. It's all repetitive. And so I feel like we just really need to look at ourselves first before we try to, place the blame on another individual, because it's really our free will.
Come on.
It's our lives. It's what we need to help us grow. And if we decided to stay in that space, then is it their fault or is it ours?
Right, but let me ask you this, Jim. Don't you think most people take the victimhood role, especially when they're talking about their past relationships, they take the victimhood role because they believe that being a victim is more attractive to the person that they're trying to get?
And it's shameful that they feel that way. And that's a lack of self-love, because that other person, you've given them the key to treat you a certain way. So now they can't treat you this way because they know what you put up on that way. And so you always have to stand your ground and say, no, it was me. So for me, I always say they dumped me. I don't benefit from that. Oh, that person did this to me. Because what does that say about me? I allowed it. I saw the red flags and I didn't stop it. And now I want to make that person a bad person. That person is just being them. Has nothing to do with me. But it took a lot of, learning to understand that. But at the end of the day, this is our free will. We have a choice to leave. We have a choice to stay. And victim doesn't benefit us. It stagnates us. We don't evolve. We don't want to be the victim because we're not a victim.
Right.
It's just a lesson that we need to acknowledge. And if you don't acknowledge it, then yes, you will always be a victim. And when that person leaves, you will still attract that same individual. Different person, same energy. So that's just, that's my perception, because I've learned that. And I don't want to get that person anymore. I can't repeat the 6th grade.
Come on, Jim. Jim, guess what you just did? Do you know?
I'm just saying, Zoda.
Oh.
You said keep it real from the heart. It was so many things.
You kept it real.
That you were pointing.
You kept it real.
But that's just my experience. And I'm grateful. That's why I said praise to the Most High that I have that awareness. But I had to do the work.
Man, I so appreciate this call. You got to come to the lounge now. I got to say hi to you. I appreciate you. Thank you for calling in. LA showed up and showed out today. Listen, when I come forward, Zoe is going to go off. I got a lot to talk about.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
My mom has taken up going to the park to practice yoga.
My dad's going to a club, but not a book club, a salsa club.
Finding new hobbies comes with age.
My mom has started getting lost and not knowing where she's going.
Becoming lost or disoriented doesn't. Confusion with time or place may be a sign of Alzheimer's. An early diagnosis can help improve the quality of life for your loved one. Learn the warning signs of Alzheimer's at 10signs.org. Brought to you by the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do
Let's play something, Grandma.
became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Ooh, I'm so ready for this weekend away with my girls.
Hey, hit the road. How about some free gas?
Free gas? How?
Try new Febreze car for some serious freshness, and you can win gas for a full year. Visit Febreze.com to learn more.
Say less.
You may not win, but you're gonna have a fresh smelling whip.
Thanks, DJ Fresh. Now how about some music?
Hey, yo, this next one goes out to new Febreze car for giving you a chance to win free gas.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 to enter in 73124 for rules and how to enter. Visit Febreze.com.
Linking social justice and climate justice all year long.
We're unapologetically progressive.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Ray Richardson, your sports connection here at KBLA Talk 1580. Join me and my co-host Neil Scarborough every Saturday night at 7 for Out of Bounds, the show that brings some flavor to the world of sports for 60 minutes. We take you beyond the scores and press conferences. We give you our point of view, the way black folks see what's going down. You can join the conversation and give us your analysis at 1-800-920-1580. Out of Bounds every Saturday night at 7 on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
You like the style, though.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
And you know where to find me. Driving down the highway, girl is behind me. Jogging blindly, no need to remind me who I am. I know you know me. Stop screaming and pointing and yelling, I'm low key. No, I ain't got no time for a picture, but slide your number and I get with you. You wanna ride, you shouldn't have said that. You played yourself and I know where your head's at. Drive my car, don't make me laugh. You better settle for an autograph or a hug and a kiss on the cheek, maybe. But I ain't trying to make no baby. Forget all the silly rumors you heard. Here's the deal, so spread the word. No, I ain't got no girlfriend. No, I didn't buy no car. No, I don't have no babies. A lot of ladies, nah, they want money. And I can see them a mile away. And when they push up, I just smile and say, back up off me. Smell the coffee. You're scheming and plotting. I'm not going, I'm gone. Up and away, and I'm on a higher plane with a brain with a flame. Feel the fire, desire the same. Knowledge and wisdom and understanding possessed by God, transferred to man in a script or a book or a scripture that looks like a biblical writing, inviting the hook of a song. Sing along with a strong subliminal message, divesting all men from criminal acts of the devil, revealed in revel, designed to decline the mind to a lower level. Read the Holy Quran or the Bible, because it's liable to be a revival for the weak that see power. It'll bring infallible power. Knowledge is king.
Come on, man. Kumo D.
Now who wants some?
Come get it. A battle is a test of wits, and I'm with it. Come on. I'm sorry. Kumo D. Happy birthday, brother. So, did you know, like, this dude was such a pioneer? He's the father of what Kendrick and Drake just went through. there was no battling before Kool Moe Dee. I mean, the iteration of it. I mean, it was routines. You do your routine, I do my routine, and the crowd will tell us which routine was the best. No, Kool Moe Dee was the first person to say, look at his shoes. Look at his tight little jacket. You know, he was the first person to personalize battle rap, making specific rhymes about a specific person. He literally brought Jonesin to wax, right? I mean, and then, as if that wasn't monumental enough, he also brought lyricism, intellect, vocabulary, speed rhyme. So when you go back in the annals of hip hop and you start talking to the legends will say, okay, so there's three kind of foundational MCs. It started with DJs, but then there's three foundational MCs. First is Melly Mel, because without Melly Mel, no one would be rapping. Melly Mel was literally the first person to write rhymes and rhyme like we rhyme today. That was the first person to do it. Then you had Grandmaster Caz. Now, a lot of people don't know Grandmaster Caz because Grandmaster Caz, his career was stolen from him by his then manager. Grandmaster Caz, his career was stolen by his then manager. And what's crazy is the manager is supposed to be setting it up for him to go do the Sugar Hill record, but the manager has his rhyme book and basically says the rhyme himself. And he becomes a part of Sugar Hill Gang. And he even spells out his name. I'm the C-A-S-A, the Casanova. He spells out the name. And that was the end of Casanova's really stole his record career. And he never recovered from that. He's still one of the dope MCs. But then you get Kool Moe Dee. And when you start to break them down, Melly Mel was this visionary poet, like if you go back and you listen to that Beat Street record, and he's rhyming and the way it's so complex, even for back then, that's why a lot of those guys didn't like Run DMC because they felt like they simplified it too much, from where it was with those three. And then when you look at Grandmaster Caz, he gives birth to the witty, funny guys, right? The Big Daddy Kanes, the Jay-Z's, the guys with the jokes in their rhymes, so to speak, the quick wit in their rhymes. Melly Mel gives birth to the bombastic voice, the Chuck D's, the Biggies, the storytelling. That's Melly Mel. But Moe Dee gives birth to LL. He gives birth to Rakim, to Nas. He gives birth to Tila Rock. The guys who are the lyricists in the game all revere Kool Moe Dee because he did fast rhyme and vocabulary and battle. And for me, that puts him on hip-hop's Mount Rushmore. And it's unfortunate that we create such a transformative culture to where, our youngsters know nothing about him. Now, if you go to Harlem, if you go to New York, everybody's like, oh, Kool Moe Dee, nothing but love and respect. But this is our culture, and they should understand. Like, I remember when Nas and Jay-Z were battling, and the Source record put out this piece of artwork, and they had Jay-Z drawn as LL and Nas drawn as Kool Moe Dee. And many people thought Kool Moe Dee lost the battle against LL, but in fact, it was an age divide. I'm younger than L, so the young kids were like, why is this old man picking on this guy who's around our age? So all the young kids, we went with LL. But all the older folk, they went with Moe Dee. You got to remember, when LL drops in 86, he's like 16, 17. He's a kid. Mo is 24. He's in college. So the history of it is so rich, man. So you had the older people who's like, nah, we like Mo D. He's articulate. He raps about something. And so when Mo is going at LL, he's going at him hard, you know, because LL is like, you know, I'm only 18 making more than your pops, you know, and he's calling himself, I'm the new grandmaster, you know. And back then it was like, you don't disrespect the legends. You don't do that, L. And Mo was like, okay, you know you come from my lineage. Come to the club, watch me, stand around and jock me, you know, then take my style, then try to rock me. You know, Mo was talking to L, like, youngster, chill out. But I really felt, and I told Mo this myself personally. I said, Mo, bro, you could have brought youngster under your wing. You could have, because L, and you know, L's out now, and L's not talking about this, but he should be, right? You know, L goes to Mo and says to Mo, people say I sound like Run, but I got my style from you. But when he gets on Club Shay Shay, he won't say that. He won't say that. But say that, L. Tell people where he'll talk about Grandmaster Cass. And L was influenced by Grandmaster Cass for sure, because L mastered that witty flow. But come on, L, give it up. Give it up. Mo is one of our hip-hop elders, man, and we got to show that brother his just due and his respect. That's why I had to play a couple of his records tonight. But let me get back to the topic briefly. I want you guys to understand. Human conduct is ever unreliable until man is anchored in the divine. Everything in the future will improve if you are making a spiritual effort now. Sri Yukteswar. The reason why that's an important quote is because we're going to hide parts of ourselves if we're not anchored in the divine, right? I've been guilty of it, right? We're going to hide who we really are when we're not anchored in the divine, when we're not doing the work, right? We're going to have a reason to wear a mask, right? We're going to have a justification for why we wear a mask, right? But to run away from fear is only to increase it. One of the major causes of fear is that we do not want to face ourselves as we are. Krishnamurti. Once we learn to face ourselves for who we are, face and embrace, and then refuse to retrace. Many times, moving forward in relationships, all we're doing is retracing. Listen, I started the conversation. It's up to you to finish it. The voice of reason is out until next week. Deuces!
Get up! I rise and shine like the sun on the one. We dance together, we overcome. A wake-up call, a wake-up all. Stand up tall. Get up and get up, y'all. Clap your hands and jubilation. Meditation, recreation, procreation of the mind. If you seek, we'll find. 1, 2 times.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network.